Hi, I'm Joan Newcomb, and today's morning musings is Out with the Old, In with the New. I'm doing a series of daily morning musings, and I'm using posts from my blog, Adventures in Density and Effort, as inspiration. Now, I wrote these posts a while back, and if I encounter anything that seems out of date or I have learned something new in the process, I will interrupt myself and give you the most recent information. At the end, if necessary, I will give you a summary of the topic based on what's going on in the world today. And I have some special offers, so stay tuned to the very end to see what they are. Out with the old, in with the new. Today is a powerful day in the illusion of things. It's December 31st, the last day of the year, and it's also a full moon. It's the second full moon of the month, so it's a blue moon, and it's also a lunar eclipse. If you're in Johannesburg or New Delhi, you're enjoying the view at the time that I'm typing this. I'm enjoying believing in astrology, so what I've picked up about full moon eclipses is that they pack the punch of 3 times the regular full moon, and they come only twice a year. There are 2 new moon eclipses a year as well. It indicates that something in your life is coming to fullness or culmination. Sometimes surprising or sudden changes happen on an eclipse. Sometimes they happen a month to the date, after or before the eclipse, and they have a reverberative effect for the next 6 months to 2 years. 2 weeks from now, there'll be another eclipse, a new moon solar one, and that will indicate new beginnings. So it's all good. That is, if you choose to believe in such things. You can decide on the universe you choose to exist in. You could be in a parallel universe where such things don't exist. Regardless, it's a good time to consider letting go of the past and moving forward into new creations. So I'm going to interrupt myself there because I've gone through a lot of changes about this. I do view astrology as like astrological weather. And if you consider that we exist in a simulation or a hologram, it's a creation of consciousness. And yet, when you look around, it's extremely complex and detailed and incredibly creative. And astrology is just an energy indication of the expansive working of things. There's a lot of different ways to interpret astrology, and everyone has their own unique response to it as well. Though I did hit something last week where I've had a challenge with a couple of different astrologers. One was predicting violence at the next election, which I felt was kind of harmful to put that suggestion out. But the other one keeps, and they're both English, the other one keeps talking about the American election, and they keep using the horoscope for the United States as July 4th, 1776. So when you do a horoscope for someone, you're doing it based on the exact time and date that they are born. So you wouldn't do a horoscope at the time that they are conceived. And if you really think about it historically, July 4th, 1776, the Declaration of Independence was the conception of the United States. And actually, it was really signed on July 2nd. So that messes with the astrology as well. But you wouldn't do a conception date for someone. You'd do the birth date. So when is the birth date of the United States? An American astrologer I know suggests that it is the Constitution signing date. So that's when we had won the Revolutionary War and were creating a government, and these were the guidelines that we are governing by. When people signed the Declaration of Independence, we were still a British colony. There was no United States. Those people signing the Declaration were risking their lives. They would have been sentenced to death for treason. I just went off on a big tangent there. But I have a problem because July 4th makes the United States also a country with a Cancer sun, and Cancers are very emotional and they scuttle sideways when they're threatened. And the Constitution signing, I've forgotten the exact date, but it would place it in September where we would be a Virgo. I personally think we act like a Leo, very sort of brash and egotistical at times, but a Virgo would make the United States perfectionistic, workaholic. We have the shortest vacation time of all the civilized world. And again, I've gone off on a real big tangent with all this. So I had a point last week where, this is my hologram and maybe astrology doesn't exist. And what would that feel like? And I haven't fully gone there because I'm still looking at the astrology of things. But all of this is a story in the hologram. And collectively, we've created energy around things like holidays. So New Year's Eve is usually a big reset. People set intentions for changes, even though time and space is also a made-up concept in the hologram. So New Year's, eclipses, or whatever, it's a good time to consider letting go of the past and moving forward to new creations. And something I do, and I still do this actually, I'm going back to reading the blog, but something I do at New Year's is I play the transformation game, which is a game that was invented at a spiritual community in Scotland called Fintorn. I'm a trained transformation game facilitator, and my husband and I now have been doing this for the last 18 years that we've been married. And it's just a fun and great way to focus on the coming year and setting into motion intentions for transformation. Energetically, it's important to release the past in order to have the space for new creations to happen. And physically, it's helpful as well. There was this elderly woman who lives in a 4-bedroom house, but she never threw anything away. She had a path from the back door to the kitchen, bathroom, and her bedroom, but everything else was piled high with stuff from the past 50 years. Your energetic space can look that way as well if you don't cleanse and let go. I'm not going to go into decluttering your home. There are many resources for that. And there are lots of ways to energetically clear your space as well. I've talked in a previous video about Ho'oponopono as an effective way to cleanse not only your inner space, but patterns in the morphic field as well. Releasing the old isn't like erasing memories. It's more like putting them in their proper place in the back of your aura. It's de-energizing the emotion from those experiences so you're not waiting around mired in past resentments, viewing the world through ancient photographic slides of your life. What's great about using energetic techniques is that you don't have to consciously know what you're clearing because it helps not to intellectualize. Now I'm going to talk about a technique that I don't tend to use anymore, which is grounding. Some people call it earthing. You know, a lot of people like to walk barefoot to be connected to the earth. I went through a huge consciousness shift 18 years ago and the center of the earth disappeared for me. I probably could make it up that it's back in my hologram, but I really felt like when I went to create my grounding to connect to the center of the earth, that it was just like going through to nothingness, or like you're in a hologram in the holodeck of the Starship Enterprise and there's nothing but outer space. But hey, if the center of the earth is real for you, you could try this. It's grounding, earthing. Imagine that you have an energy connection going from your lower abdomen, your root chakra, to the center of the earth. And imagine it's like one of those trash chutes in old buildings that used to go down to an incinerator. You can release imaginary trash bags filled with whatever you'd like to dump down to the earth's molten core. And whatever you've released gets instantly transformed and recycled into beneficial energy for the planet. I remember trying to tell my mother about this, and the best analogy I actually used for her was to imagine just flushing resentments down the toilet. And she apparently still did that all the way till her death. When you are releasing energy, you are lightening your vibratory space, expanding and raising your awareness, and allowing in new and wonderful creations. This is often the missing piece of the law of attraction, being energetically receptive to what you're attracting. What happens when you do any or all of these techniques over time is that your life transforms in fun and magical ways. You don't have to wait till New Year's. You can do it every day or any time that it occurs to you or you feel motivated to. You can let go of the past and welcome in new creations regardless of the phase of the moon. So try this or make up your own techniques every day for the next week and see what happens. And leave me a comment below because I love to read your comments about these things. So the thing I'm reflecting on is I wrote this a really long time ago, and just think about how technology has rapidly changed in the last decade, couple decades. And so many things can happen instantaneously now that would have taken a long time in the past. If you even think about building houses, we now have 3D printing. People are living in 3D printed houses that take, 24 hours to manufacture. So in terms of letting things go energetically to create space for the new, you can highlight and delete all the stuff you don't want anymore in your space. You can step into a parallel universe where there's a brand new reality and the previous stuff doesn't exist. You can mentally send all your excess baggage to storage places in other universes as well. That is, if you're attached to the excess baggage. If you're not attached to the excess baggage, just send them on an airplane to get lost in Dubai or something. You can have fun with this and make it up. And the thing I've noticed is that we are becoming collectively vibrationally lighter, higher, and more expansive. And that is also why things happen so much more quickly than they ever had before. So if you like these videos, please click the thumbs up to like them. Also click the bell icon to subscribe. And that way you're telling the YouTube algorithm to share this with more people and get this information out to someone who really needs to see this. And if you'd like a free sample of one of my consciousness techniques, click on the link below for the skybox technique. It'll give you an expanded perspective of your life or anything else you choose to look at. And if if you want to learn more about playing with vibrations, I have a self-study course called Manifesting Money and Miracles. It teaches you how to shift vibrations within you, which creates transformation in your external world. And if you want to know more, my website is joan-newcomb.com. I do individual sessions where I take a look at you as consciousness and what you're creating in your life today, whether in relationships, in job, in moving. I also talk to dead people. I can answer any questions that you have, and I record it just for you. And if you want to learn how to do this for yourself, Manifesting Money and Miracles is a good preparation for my coaching special where I work with you one-on-one and I give you specially chosen consciousness techniques for you to transform your life. So go to my website, joan-newcomb.com, and I'll see you tomorrow in another Morning Musings.